Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Gemini, July 2, 2022. The day is strong for gaining a better understanding of your deeper feelings about a matter. Your strategic thinking benefits you greatly, as planning can be useful now. The motivation to get things done is with you. Aim to harness the energy available to you now into something genuinely worth pursuing instead of scattering yourself. The balance of power in a relationship is a hot topic now, and thankfully you are able to see not only how important it is, but also the benefits of sharing and give and take. The moon heads into your sector of the mind later today, igniting your curiosity further. You have been sitting on the fence, not sure whether to jump in and make that commitment today. The planetary configuration today brings you some questions to consider before you make that all-important decision. Take some time to think through whether you can be totally yourself or whether you are pretending. Don't act until you feel sure. It is a big commitment. How do you value your networking opportunities and aspirations? You might want to consider how much time, energy, and even money you spend on your professional associations, communities, and dreams when the moon in Cancer squares Mars in Aries. Before you take any hasty actions, you should consider both the literal and figurative costs of your actions. You could go about your professional associations better by focusing on the connections and communities that will undoubtedly be worth your time. The same goes for your dreams so that you can focus on the right ones instead of dead ends. Try not to get too carried away today. Any tendency you may have towards pleasure seeking will be greatly magnified by today's aspects until overindulgence becomes a real risk. That relaxing drink with your buddies could turn into an expensive happy hour bill, and that short mid-afternoon nap might last until dinner time. Don't be afraid to treat yourself, just be aware of the possibility that it can get out of hand if you don't stay in control. Your advice is in great demand. Because of your high energy levels, you are happy to comply, but take care not to give too much of yourself. You might suffer a burnout and lose interest in others. It's fine to ask others to return the favor. Ultimately, relationships work best when give and take are done in equal measure. You're the master of sparkling conversation, but sometimes what qualifies as witty repartee for you comes across as a veiled insult to someone else. Be careful that the talk doesn't turn ugly. As soon as you arrive on the scene, you find that rivals seem to fade from view. Maintaining a natural approach helps you get the attention from any potential admirers. Make the most of your desirability and appeal, but be sure you don't overdo the swagger. Any exaggerated conduct can quickly become a turn-off. Today you could be ready to party. Maybe you will be invited to get together with some friends. Have some beers, tell jokes with your friends, and just relax. Sometimes you are just too darn serious, and you need to let go of all those stressful thoughts in your head. Spend some time sharing stories with some good friends. Open up about things that are on your mind so that negative energy can be released. The energetic and social vibration is happening today. For you, as a 3 personality, having fun doesn't usually pose any challenges. On the flip side, staying focused on something can be difficult. With the presence of this essence, you are sure to find concentration quite elusive. Don't be too hard on yourself if you are not able to get the amount of work done that you planned for. Tomorrow will bring more focus. Try to enjoy this day's energy. The moon's departure from your income sector yesterday has done more than just leave you with a sharp nose for money and a lucrative sense of direction. As a new moon, this has triggered developments that could take weeks to fully play out, while at the same time not only leaving the sun behind and even more planets on the way, but with growing developments on the job and career fronts. What the moon touched on over the last few days is just a taste of things to come. At the same time that Mercury is wrapping up an extended visit to Gemini that began over 2 months ago, the planet of communication is also just 18 days away from your communication sector. The communication gods are going to let things settle, with the moon's monthly visit to your communication sector giving Mercury's final days in your sign even more punch. Our eyes in the sky. Investing money today can reap big returns and dividends. It's also a great day to connect with those you haven't spoken to in quite some time. If you're single, pay attention to the people you meet or engage with today. They could play an important role in your future. Embrace the positivity and good vibes. Today is a pleasant day, which is a nice change from all the cosmic chaos of last week. There's some powerful energy fueling your ambition and driving you to get a lot done today, but power struggles are unavoidable during the difficult Moon, Mars, and Pluto cardinal T-square. If you can feel the tension building between you and someone else who also wants the leadership role you're intent on playing, it's going to come to a head at some point. And when it all blows up in your face, it's not going to be pretty. You might want to have an alternate plan ready in case your authority is successfully challenged. After a brief void of course period, the Moon enters playful Leo, helping diffuse some of the more difficult cosmic energy from earlier. Luckily, you should be able to forget about some of the day's tenser moments as you play with your kids or go out dancing with friends. Being the center of attention is your main goal now, and whether it's adoring affection from a lover or all eyes on you on the dance floor, you're happy to soak up the happiness that being in the spotlight offers you now. Regardless, we will confront psychological material at this time, and we are offered protection to this end so we might understand our inner workings and unconscious motivations without getting overwhelmed. Following this connection, the Moon falls into a void lasting into the early evening. Use this time for reflection. We might think we are living in the here and now, but how much of our personality and identity hinges on nostalgia? Are our thoughts of what it means to be productive, tech-savvy, or eco-conscious actually rather inefficient and outdated? Under this influence, we believe that it is our purpose, our mission, to help others modernize their lifestyles by encouraging them to think outside the box. There is freedom in liberating ourselves from old conditioning, and thankfully, others see our message as revolutionary and exciting, rather than disruptive. In the morning, the Cancer Moon trines Neptune in Pisces, stimulating our creative impulses. Ultimately, we get more from rest than from exertion now. When we allow ourselves to relax, we gain the ability to tune into serendipity and thereby develop greater trust in our intuition. We can use this influence to practice divination techniques, such as reading tea leaves, tarot, or scrying. Looking to our astrological charts can also be revelatory, not because we are seeking answers, but because we are open to receiving insights from the universe. Late in the morning, the Moon squares off with Mars in Aries, provoking tension. Our emotional needs and desires conflict at this time, creating an internal battle of wills. We risk taking our frustrations out on anyone who happens to get in our way. Obviously, this is a poor use of our energy, which can be much better applied to self-examination. Otherwise, we can get our angst out through physical activity, but should avoid competitive sports as we could accidentally injure ourselves or another when we are simply attempting to face a challenge courageously.